Good morning. We're going to go practice some lean angles and I'm going to teach you and show you what I've done to go from this.
Morning, I'm losing so much ground to him. No!
To this. Over the past couple of months and get really confident around the corners. But first of all, you obviously need to make sure your tyre pressure's all good. So we're going to go 36 in the front, 40 in the rear. 36 PSI. Let's see what it actually is already. It might already be on 36 because these are new tyres, so hopefully. No, it was 34. And you know what? I could feel that. I actually could feel that because that's why I wanted to make this video and wanted to check my tyres, because the past couple of times, hold on, 40. The past couple of times that I've been riding, I have felt a little movement, so you feel it when you do these lean sessions. This thing is so annoying to get in there. Fuck off. There we go. What's that on? That was on 36. There we go. Cool. So yeah, you do need to check your tyre pressure because these are brand new tyres. Went on like 3 weeks ago. No, more than that. Went on about a month and a bit ago, and they've dropped. Oh, you can feel the tyre warmth as well. See, that's what we need to heat up our tyres later. And it is true, they do heat up. They get hot. That middle bit's hot. The outside's cold. We'll talk about that in a second though. But yeah, you do need to check your tyre pressure, guys, because it does go down quite considerably over an amount of time, and you can feel it. I could feel it when I was doing those dips the other day to the beach. There was when I was doing it the other day, it was actually like dipping in as I went, and it does feel dodgy. It's all right because obviously it's not too low, but you do feel the difference because it sort of like goes back and forward, and it's just but it's just gonna get you into a slippy situation, so you do just need to be careful. There is like loads of specs. People run like lower pressures in certain areas to get like better leans in it. But yeah, we're all topped up now. So 36 in the front, 40 in the rear. We're all good to go. That's what I love about bikes, man. You get so much responsiveness. You can tell instantly when something's off. Like I could tell that front tire was off. See, look, that's way better. Because it was those situations where I'd feel it be like inconsistent, so it would roll onto the side of the tire and then it would almost like dip a little bit and go like, not like bounce, but you would definitely feel it, and I knew there was something wrong in it. I needed to check my tire pressure. You know it instantly on a bike when something's off because there's so much connection with the bike that you, oh god, that you do feel everything. So yeah, don't neglect tire pressure. Anyway, now we can actually get on to what the video is about, is practicing your leans. So obviously the next thing, after you've done your tyre pressure and you've checked all that over, make sure you've actually got a license and a bike, you're going to find your spot. You need a nice spot that's got enough roads that continue on for a little bit, where you can link them together, and where you can learn them. So like that's local, that you can go to regularly. It's nice and quiet, and it's just a good spot to practice on. So some nice open sections, some nice tight sections. You want a mix of everything. Make sure it's open, make sure it's sort of freshly paved like this. Don't go to a really dodgy road. Make sure it's nice and clear, and make that your spot. So find one of them, just ride round and find them. I know exactly where I'm going, and a lot of you that live around here probably know where I'm going, because it's one of the best areas to practice your leans. So I'll see you when we get there. Cool, so this is my spot. And what I love about it is it's got some nice open sections, some nice tight sections. It's nice and paved, it's not too like horrible. And what you want to do is just learn the road. So I used to just come out here, I still do, and I just take a nice slow lap on the roads to get used to the curves, get used to all the little bumps that happen, get used to all the little imperfections of the road, so nothing catches you off guard. The last thing you want to do is send it down some road that you don't know, and then there's a certain section where there's loads of bumps, which there is right now. This section is really bad for bumps, so I know to slow down here and not go crazy. See, that could catch you off on a corner. If you just started to try to catch up with some 1000 cc's on a road you've never been on, you wouldn't know that, and then you'd put yourself in a stupid situation. So the best way to practice is to learn this place that you found like the back of your hand. Make sure you know every corner, every little bit of it, and just take some slow laps. You don't need to go crazy. You really can just chill out. You don't need to lean off the seat. Stay on the bike. I didn't venture out to leaning off until like a couple months ago, do you know what I mean? So I'm just slowly going round, and also taking this opportunity to warm up the tyres. You need to make sure they're warm. People don't realise that warming up your tyres is actually a thing. Like, you do need to warm up your tyres, because when you think about it, cold tyres, like ice, they slip. Ice is slippy, whereas hot, sticky stuff, well, it's sticky. So it's the same with your tyres. You really do need to get a nice little bit of heat in them, scrub them in, and make sure they're ready to go before you start sending it right to the edge of them and putting a lot of force into them, because you can slip the back end out, do you know what I mean? But look, here's some nice slow sections to work on your slow cornering. Here's another section here, and I'm not leaning off the bike, I'm just sort of chilling, trying to keep that throttle nice and steady. And then as we come up here, it opens out into a nice long section again, where you've got these nice sweeping roads. And again, tyres are still cold, so I'm just going to try and get on the edge of them a little bit, stretch them out, and just learn the road. Slowly get into them. Really nothing crazy. Around here. And you'll see, the more you do it, the more you come down here, the more you'll be able to lean, the more you'll be like, you know what, I can take that corner a little bit quicker, or I can actually lean a little bit more there, or maybe I should back off a little bit there. So I used to come here all the time. Basically, the more you do, the more you're going to improve, let's be honest. You just need to get out on your bike, but this is definitely the quickest way to improve your leans, is finding your section of road where you can really lean that bike in and get some nice angles in there. And then what's nice about this section is there's a nice little pullover, so you can chill out, assess the chicken lines on the back tyres and the front tyres, and see if you've scrubbed away at any, see where you went, where you could push it a little bit more, where you could take it back a little bit more, and then turn around and try again. This is what I used to do on my own all the time. I still do it now, but I'm just filming it. It's just practice. Obviously you guys don't see most of the stuff that I'm on about because I don't post it, because, you know, I'm sure you can understand, but I don't post it, so people might think that I can't ride. I don't get me wrong, I'm not the quickest person in the world, but I can ride the bike now, do you know what I mean? I can take it around some corners, but I just don't post it, so you won't see it. Anyway, yeah, so we'll have just done that pass, so you'll just come over here, you'll check, and be like, oh wow, they've not moved at all. But if you set your glove off, you can feel it. Tyres nice and hot, cold there, cold there. So we know we've warmed up that section, and we know you can sort of feel where you've been, even though you can see it anyway, but you can sort of feel it. It's cool. So you've warmed up those tyres, you've got them nice and hot, so you could now go do a quicker pass because you sort of know it. Another thing to take into consideration is the weather. Obviously today it's a mild day, it's not freezing, but it's not boiling. So obviously if it's really, really hot, the roads are already going to be warm, so your tyres are going to warm up quicker, the road's just going to be a bit more reliable in general. Whereas when it's freezing, like if it's a winter morning, well, there's going to be a bit of glazed mist over the floor, there's going to be that just cold temperature anyway, so it's going to be harder to warm up your tyres because the road's going to be cooling them down. So you do need to be careful of when you decide to do it, depending on the weather. Today's honestly perfect middle ground. Obviously if it's a sunny day, you're good to go all day. But the good way to check is to just rub your foot along the floor as you're riding. If you're coming to like a traffic light, just slowly rub your foot along the floor, and you'll feel if there's that light glaze of like slippiness on the floor that you need to look out for. But today is perfect. I had a couple of runs and these tyres will be, well, they're already hot anyway, so I can sort of pick the pace up a little bit. Yeah, that's how I would start. That's how I did start. Is just doing that, staying on the bike, not venturing out into the whole leaning your leg off until now. Now I'm getting to the point where I can actually do it, because you need to be humble. You can't rush these things because it is a skill, and a lot of people make the mistake of going like, right, oh no, I can ride a bike, I can go quick in a straight line, right, I should be all right, let's just send it, and then they end up crashing and they end up writing their bike off within the first 2 months. You have to take your time and almost humble yourself. I'm very reserved anyway because I don't want to put myself in a stupid situation, so I almost take it a bit too far where I like really hold myself back to make sure I'm slowly easing myself into it. But I do think it's helped because I've lasted 5 months and now I'm into a position where I can really push it to the side because I've been practicing and holding it off and doing it slowly. So just fucking don't rush, please. That's the last thing you want to do. Even if there's mates with you that are always taking off, just leave it. Just let them take off. Ride your own ride. Don't like start forcing it just because you want to catch up with the pack. You'll get there. because they were there as well, do you know what I mean? They've just been riding for longer. Anyway, I'm going to turn around, go back up, and then I'm going to talk about the whole leaning sort of side of things. Because to an extent, obviously the whole knee down stuff isn't really necessary, let's be honest. Putting a knee down on a corner like this isn't going to get you round the corner any quicker than if you were just leaning off with this knee positioning that I've been trying at the minute, that my mechanic and dad and that have been telling me about and sort of getting me to practice. But obviously the knee down does look cool, but it is a little bit unnecessary in certain places. But what I'm on about with my knee, so I don't know if you can see, let me get into a higher gear, but if I was going around this corner now, normally, like we were just doing, my knees were here, and I was taking the corner with both knees on the tank, like that. Whereas what I'm doing now is putting, if I'm turning right, I leave the left knee pinned against the tank with resistance against my leg, and then this leg here opens out like that. Hold on. Opens out like that. And you almost have resistance here, and you use that as an anchor point to lean away from the corner. And then you sort of lean your upper body over as well with that knee coming out, holding on to the right. So if I'm going around here, I'm round there. Obviously that was a terrible corner because I was too slow, but you automatically feel you've got way more control around that corner, and you can start to lean it even more. So I'll do it again. Left knee in the tank, coming up for this corner over here. Gonna get ready to lift the right one out, and you just feel it pull you over. It almost allows you to lean the bike without your arms, because you can just use that leg. Look, my leg's out. It's nothing crazy, especially on this one though. This would be a good one to try it on. Around there, do you know what I mean? It's just a nice way to introduce yourself to actually shifting your weight off that centre line, which is going to help so much more in your corners. So just even if it's like this, like right now I'm barely leaning, but I'm still just going to get my knee out just for good habit, just to get it in my muscle memory of starting to sort of like, right, okay, I can actually push against that. And you almost stop using your arms, because you just sort of have all your, like, I can hold myself up with just my leg because all my weight and resistance is in that leg. But it is really, really, you notice the difference straight away. It's so much better. That's what the grooves in the tank are for. That's why they're there. But it's really nice. You just flip in from side to side, side to side, side to side. And it just helps you set up that great body position. And then obviously you can start to move your body over to match that as well. So you want to do them together, because if you do your legs and then you have your upper body on the center line, well, that's when you risk slipping the back tire out, because you're like uneven. Do you know what I mean? You don't want to be leaning and then have one end of your body still on the bike like that. You don't want to be like that. You want to be like that. You know, if you do this, it's gonna imbalance it. You run the risk of flipping it out. Obviously I'm no expert. I'm obviously just teaching you guys from what I've learned and where I'm at so far. So that's the knee out. From there, you just sort of extend that more and more, to be honest. You don't need to then be like, right, well, I'm in this position, because that's all you really need. That right there is all you really need. The only other thing you're going to get from going even more and trying to put your elbow down is just a good picture. Really, let's be honest. You can get a good lean and a good angle around a corner by just doing that body position there. And then obviously as you get closer to the floor, your knees and arms do get there, but you see a lot of videos where people are in a lean angle, the bike stays the same, and all that happens to get their knee down is their body just goes even closer to the floor, because they're just reaching for the floor, but the bike's still there. So it's unnecessary really, but it does look cool. And obviously if you're skilled, then obviously you know what you're doing. But for me, I'm not pushing for that right now, because I just don't really think it's necessary on roads like this. I'm happy with sticking those legs out and getting that lean off. So after doing that lean, you'll feel yourself being able to push it more. You should have a little bit of a hotter tire on the edges, and then you should have a little bit of a more worn away chicken line. Yeah, now I'm going to do a more of a confident run about where I am right now. Another thing which I haven't really spoke about is the more you do that, I'm in the stage now where I've got that knee out nice and comfortable, so now I'm adding my arse cheeks to the situation. So you basically, your bumhole sits in the middle of the seat right there. Let's say that's your bumhole. That's in the middle of the seat. You want to move that to the right or the left, depending on where you're going. So if I'm going to the right, I'm going to stick my bumhole to the right of the seat. If I'm going to the left, I'm going to stick it to the left, and that's just going to shift your ass cheeks over and move that weight so it's in a nice center line around that section. Okay, it's just going to give you a better overall, it's going to help out a lot more. But it's just hard to transition. I find it hard at the minute to transition from one bum cheek to back to the center to then the other side. It's quite it's quite lumpy. I'm sort of leaning over to that side, and then I'm sort of being like, right, hop to the middle and then hop to the other side, whereas some people just like go right over like that. So I do think I need to be on my toes more on the foot pegs, and then sort of lift my ass off and just glide it over the seat to then get to the other side. I'm sort of placing it. But yeah, I'm no professional. I'm not crazy, but I'm definitely in a way better spot than I was when I first got this bike 5 months ago. Like literally brand new to bikes 5 months ago, and now I'm keeping up with people around the corners by using those little things. So, but you know, YouTube, I only want to push it so far for what I'm showing. But yeah, hopefully that helps. Just practice, just don't get sucked into the whole gotta catch up quickly, gotta fucking stick with these guys. Just take your time, just do it bit by bit by bit by bit. Just go out on your own and keep practicing and practicing and practicing, and yeah, you will slowly get better. All right, so hopefully that helps. Nice little morning session, practicing some leans. Subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.